A man who it pretends to be a woman is not a woman, and it's the same thing if I were to go to the doctor's office as an anorexic and say, "Doc, give me a tummy tuck because my self-perception is not in line with reality." So
The argument that he would be making would only be valid if it were the case that trans people or like people who are questioning their gender identity were just able to walk into a doctor's office and be like, I want my genitals cut off. You know, I want a vaginoplasty, or I want a phalloplasty, or I want a double mastectomy. That doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen. Even for adults, these are long processes. These are processes where there's referrals, there's processes where there's therapy, there's processes where you talk about these issues and talk about all the risks. These things aren't happening on a whim. Someone with anorexia would not be able to walk into a doctor's office and say they want a tummy tuck the same way someone who's trans couldn't immediately walk into a doctor's office and get their genitalia cut off. It's not how it works. And also, there are different types of treatment for different types of disorders. The claim here is not that for every person with gender dysphoria, gender-affirming care in terms of like surgery is the correct solution. That is not always the case. There are a variety of treatments for specific disorders. So there are a lot of different avenues you can go down. And the first one is never physical surgery. It's not. You talk about these issues because everyone's different. And of course you don't want to haphazardly make a decision that causes someone to be infertile for the rest of their life or cause them to, no longer have body parts. That is a big decision, and that should be understood in such a way. But to claim that, like, this is equivalent to an anorexic person asking for a tummy tuck is so divorced from reality, okay? It's just the case. If you were to give a person with anorexia a tummy tuck and affirm that, they would die. The opposite is the case for gender-affirming care, actually. And it shows that when people don't have access to gender-affirming care, particularly children, they have much higher rates of suicide. So his argument is backwards. The correct thing is to say that we shouldn't give someone with anorexia a tummy tuck because that will lead to their worsening of their condition and them dying. But we should give people gender-affirming care because it leads to them overall not ending their own lives. So you can hold those two consistent positions at the same time. Nothing here is contradictory.